Welcome back to AM Northwest. There are many things we inherit from our parents and grandparents, not only our physical characteristics, but patterns of thoughts, feelings, and behaviors called emotional DNA. Here to share how those hidden patterns impact our relationships, we welcome the author of Decoding Your Emotional Blueprint, Judy Wilkins-Smith. Hi, Judy.
Hi, Tammy. It's lovely to see you.
Lovely to see you. And this is such an interesting concept, which I've never heard of before. So how did you come up with emotional DNA?
Well, emotional DNA was really just what else do you inherit? And thanks to neuroscience, epigenetics, and of course, systemic work in constellations, we now know that in an event that happens in a prior generation can impact you. It creates an imprint that becomes a blueprint for the ways that, as you said, you think, feel, and act.
Wow.
And hence emotional DNA.
Now, you just mentioned systemic work in constellations. Explain that. What does that mean?
Yeah, so systemic work is really looking at the entire family system, not just you in a vacuum. It's who are you as a result of the prior generations, all the ones around you. Which parts of the system are you aligned with? So if we're looking at relationships, for example, what have you picked up that is a message that echoes through for you? And so we look at the entire system in that context.
Oh, that's so interesting. And you say there's scientific evidence of emotional DNA?
Yeah, there are many studies that have now been done, thank goodness, to show that not only are these imprints created that become blueprints, but neuroscience also shows you, and systemic work does, how to change that from what is to what's possible. So yes, there are many studies that have been done to support this and to show that it begins to influence from one generation to the next. So it doesn't just sit with the originator, it flows on down.
That's so interesting. So what do you think about, like, for example, you see how your mother behaves and you don't want to be like that. So don't you have control over how you behave? If you see an example, or is that not, am I not getting it?
Oh, no, you're great. Okay. In fact, you would think so, but how often do you say, I open my mouth and out comes my mother?
Oh.
And the reason for that is you're aligned subconsciously with a pattern that says do it this way, and consciously you'd like to do something else. But often with the generations of the same pattern, the pattern gets louder and louder and louder because it's asking you to look at it. And so because it's asking you to look at it, you have the push-pull. You have your loyalty to or alignment with the older ways and a real deep desire to do something different. And the beauty is you're the change agent. You're actually the one who can do it. Once you see the pattern and you identify it and understand what it's doing in your life, you're then free to start saying, but that's not working for me and I need to do it differently. So absolutely you can change it.
Okay, and then if I change my behavior, does that change the emotional DNA for future generations?
Exactly right. And that's the whole point. Yes, and it's significant. You could start off with you saying, I don't trust men. Where did that come from? Well, there's a history of that in the family. I don't want to be like that. So who can I trust? How do I trust them? Where did that first mistrust come from? Is it relevant for me now? No, it's not. Okay, so what am I going to do? One new thought, one new feeling, one new action that says we're changing this up. And of course, when your children see you doing it differently, they begin to align with that DNA. So absolutely, you are changing it going forward.
That's so nice. So how do you identify a relationship pattern that's in your emotional DNA? Is there something to look for?
Yes, there is. The places you get stuck and the places you get really frustrated or angry. Go and have a look at those and ask yourself, where did I first start saying that or feeling that or experiencing that? And who else in the family might have had something similar? In which case, does it belong to me or am I just faithfully nurturing it through another generation? That's how you would look for it. And then to change it, it's to follow your heart's deepest calling, which is, I really, really want to do well with relationships. Okay, what do I need to do that's different from what's being done now? And again, it's just that step at a time, and before you know it, you've changed yours and you've changed it going forward.
That's great. So I'm guessing that you work with clients to help them overcome their emotional DNA patterns that they don't like? Do you
Actually, to assimilate the ones that they don't like, because those have got clues to where you're wanting to head. So you don't want to get rid of them. You want to understand them because they're wisdom. But yes, I work with a lot of clients to then say, and then what? How do we shift this up? And how do we move it forward into a healthier, relevant pattern for now?
Oh, that's great. And your book, of course, will help us all figure it out and
yes,
do what we need to do.
Decoding Your Emotional Blueprint, absolutely.
Exactly.
It is a step-by-step guide. It's why I wrote it, because it's a practical guide that shows you where it is, how it happened, why it's relevant for you to change now, and what your purpose is.
Oh, it's so interesting. Thank you so much, Judy. So nice talking with you.
Thank you so much for having me.
We want to tell everyone the book again is Decoding Your Emotional Blueprint, and we'll have a link to all of Judy's information on our website at KATU.com. And we will be right back.